everyone, this is Stephen Bones and it's WildKatt Wednesday, and if you've not met Paolo before, he was my first drum that Kat ever painted and created for me, so he's quite an amazing being, and he's really interesting. He's got a lovely vibrational tone to him, and it comes out to play every now and again, and he's really interesting. So meet Paolo. So I was contemplating what the live was going to be about this week, and it's about group calls. That's what came into my space, circles, because that's where I am now. But interestingly enough, my journey started in 2018 when I'd lost my business and we'd had to put our house on the market, and my awakening had begun. Everything was turned upside down and changing. It was pretty huge. So it was an interesting experience at that time. I'd done no inner work whatsoever, didn't know where I was going, felt lost, broken, and didn't know what was going to happen. But I knew I had to try and find some form of income, and I didn't want to go and work for anybody else. I didn't want to go in an office. I just wanted to carry on doing working from home, because I liked just being away from office environment, corporate environment. Little did I know that's where the journey was taking me. So what happened? Well, I joined an online platform to learn digital marketing skills, more about social media, because I'd never used social media, how to put myself out there using videos and all the rest of it, which is quite an interesting experience. And it was quite an interesting journey, because it started with personal development. Now, I'd been in personal development when I think I first touched on it when I was 21-ish, 22-ish. And what happened there was I was in multi-level marketing at that time, and they got us into personal development to create businesses. So flip forward to 2018, here I am, and I fell back into this personal development. And there were various groups around doing different training and teachings, as well as guiding books and all the usual stuff that personal development takes you. And that's where I first met the two guys I began my working with in 2019, which I'll come to shortly. However, what I do notice when I look back now, and that's what I was contemplating, how amazing it was that it's group situations. And in those group situations, energy was created, which I realize now I didn't at the time. A frequency was created. And even when I was in multi-level marketing, we used to have meetups very regularly, at least every week. And then with huge national meetups and then regional meetups, again, creating groups and energy. A lot of people would say that we're vibrating low, that these were cults and they were trying to brainwash you and all the rest of it. And this was other people's opinions, and they're entitled to their opinions. But I look back now, going back many decades of experiencing all these different things, and I can assure you it's energy that is being created. So I began working in the platform, and then flipped forward to 2019, and I began working. My awakening had begun, and I was yearning to get more knowledge, because I'd had somebody hypnotize me. Well, let's put it the other way. They did some therapy on me using hypnosis to regress me back and do a releasing, and that took me into a different place. Now, that was a one-to-one. What I have learned is that when you even sit on a one-to-one basis, a certain energy is created. So then flip forward to 2019, and I began working with a couple of guys that were in the States, and everything was online. And I began learning how to connect with myself, how to regulate my energy. And that's why I'm multidimensional. These are one of the things that I still teach now. If people don't want to work with drums or soul retrievals or past life, I'm just a human being that has dimensions and modalities to help others. And interestingly enough, it was groups, and there were group calls and then one-to-one in between. And I do support people on one-to-ones still in that space. That's how still connected I am. And interestingly enough, there were monthly or 3 monthly group calls, and all these calls create a frequency. And the teachings were to sit in group and one-to-ones on weekly and daily practices, and this allows the frequency and the system to regulate, which is quite interesting. So again, flip forward to Colombia. I ended up in Colombia doing plant medicine, and first time I'd ever worked with a shaman, and I had a huge spiritual experience there, which then flipped me on to working with Kat, which I'll come to in a minute. So in Colombia, we all sat in a sacred space that was a huge circle of land, and it was very much drawn as a circle. And in the Maluka, which is like a type of hut, we would do the ceremony, take the medicine, and sit in the Maluka, which is in a circle, of course. And interestingly enough, the shamans would look after us, and they were sat in a little like offshoot of that, like a little hut, if you like, where they could see what was going on. And that was on the east of the circle. Again, quite interesting. If you believe in coincidence or not, this is what was happening. So I had an experience there, and then flip forward to 2023. In the February, I met Kat. I first met her. I didn't know really what I was going to meet her for. I'd had a message through a different energy, a different vibration, to do some shamanic practices, and I hadn't got a clue what that was. And the human in me began searching, and I didn't have to because I was led to Kat. And I dropped all the other searching and began working with Kat. And Kat, for those of you that don't know, has an amazing gift. She's had it since childhood. Unfortunately, she can't use it too often nowadays because she gets, it knocks her off her feet. She gets ill. She's disabled anyway. So she has to be really careful. So for whatever reason, I came into her space. She was painting these drums since 2018, got shut down in COVID, went through a bit of a bad time herself. I came on the scene, then all of a sudden I'm being trained by Kat. Also, she had to do some work on me as well, by the way. I'm being trained by Kat because we're all evolving. Well, the work continues. We are all evolving, no matter how long we've been doing the work. And the difference between one and another is not levels, by the way. It's just the time they've been doing the work, and everybody needs to help everybody else. But back to the story. So Kat then first introduced me to these drums. Now, these drums are quite incredible. She paints them all. My wall is usually full of them, but I've got various drum circles coming along. So you've heard him play at the beginning. There's quite a few of them out there, and we work in various circles. I have them monthly. I do them online. And it's quite interesting. Again, we go back to the circle. The circles are powerful. People, or that if we're online in a group, people get a sense of well-being. They can get a healing. The energy will push through the system. I also can do one-to-one or small group specific healing sessions if people want it. And if you can hear a noise, by the way, I've got builders banging away outside at some stonework. They're just doing some guttering work. So sorry for that interruption, but hey ho, it's meant to be there. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Again, please like, follow, and share this video. because you may not be interested, but others were. You may be drawn to the drums. By all means, if you want to come online, please do so. They will be held monthly. The next one's in July. I haven't come up with the date yet, but it will be. It's £11 a session, lasts about half an hour, and I can assure you, you get a good £11 investment. There are only 5 spaces at a time. So if you're interested, please let me know. Just put me in the comments, or I'm in the comments, and I'll pick up on it. Or you can WhatsApp me or go to my website, stephenbones.com. This is now the 27th of May. By middle of June, that website will be live. If you get flicked to my Facebook page, follow me on there, but the website will, and I'll let you know when the website's live, but it's very imminent now. We're just beginning to finish the final details off. So thanks for listening. This is WildKatt Wednesday. That was about groups and why I'm in circles now. The energy is so powerful, the frequency is powerful, and it's pretty interesting. And just at the beginning of this video, when you've watched it all the way through, go back and just notice in the corner by the window up here, and again, just notice if you see anything moving through, or notice anything different that goes across the screen. So thanks for listening. Lovely to speak to you all, and catch you later.